guys, and welcome back to my channel. On Snapchat the other day I was raving about how my makeup wasn't moving. I didn't have to touch it up at all, maybe like once, but it was like no oil at all, and I'm definitely an oily skin girl, so to not have to touch up my makeup throughout the day is like the best thing ever. So I thought I would film how I do it because all of you guys, especially my oily skin people, definitely want to know how I achieve that. I thought I would kind of combine the longevity of this makeup with a Coachella look, since I think it's perfect for like in the desert, in the sun. You definitely want longevity with your makeup. I kept it a little bit on the tame side for Coachella because, you know, you can totally go with your face painted or like glitter and diamonds pasted all over it. But personally, I don't think I would wear that just because in the sun I think everything would just melt off. So I definitely want my makeup to have a good staying power, but just kind of like that desert earthy look to it, and I think this look is perfect for that. So if you guys want to see how I got my foundation to last all day without hardly touching it up and the rest of this makeup look, then just keep on watching. Okay, so taking any primer, you can use a matte one, a shimmering one, or if you don't even use primer, it doesn't matter as long as you have a base. I'm going to take the Tom Ford Illuminating Primer, and I'm just going to put this mostly on my cheekbones, forehead kind of area, because I don't really want it to accentuate my pores, so I'm just kind of going on the areas I would highlight afterwards anyways. I was on YouTube and I was watching a plethora of videos and I came across Wayne Goss. He basically just did a video on how to kind of reduce oiliness or a step in your foundation routine so that you don't have any oiliness throughout the day. And I watched it and I was like, I don't know if that would work, I don't know. And then I tried it. 8 hours, no oiliness. Like maybe a little bit just around my nose, but like for 8 hours, one time touching up, really can't complain. So the trick was he took a translucent powder or just a loose powder. You can use a compressed one, but I don't know if that works as well. And I'm taking it on a complexion sponge. This is the Real Techniques one. You can use a beauty blender. And what you're gonna do is put it on first. So you kind of need a base, so that's why I said use like your moisturizer, a primer, whatever it is, just so it locks it in. And this is just what I guess closes your pores a little bit and acts as like a barrier so that your foundation doesn't get oily on your skin. So it locks in whatever primer or moisturizer you use, so you have your moisture, but it reduces oiliness. Like I am such a fan. So I'm only really putting it in areas that I would get oily, so my T-zone. I'm not going to put it on my cheeks or my jawline or anything. I'm just going to put it in areas where I would get oily. So I'm just going to really dab it in with the sponge right up to my eyes. So another thing is with this complexion sponge, you can use it wet or dry, and I think a lot of people think you have to use your sponge wet, and the thing is with that, it's a beautiful finish if you already have like perfect skin because it gives you a more blended light to medium coverage, where when you use it dry, so like the day after you wet it, it kind of puts on your foundation a little bit more fuller coverage. So if you want more of like that intense full coverage event or photo ready makeup, then use it a little bit more on the dry side. The foundation that I did use was the Estee Lauder Double Wear in Tawny, and this foundation is just one of my favorites because it really does stay on. Even before I started doing this little trick, it does you know, keep the oiliness to a minimum the longest out of all my foundations, and it's not as cakey as people think. You really do have to blend it out, and you really do have to take it off with a good cleansing oil at nighttime, but other than that, like, my skin is fine with it, and I love the coverage, and I just love that I don't have to touch up my makeup throughout the day. So I'm just gonna go right on the sponge. I don't know if people do that, but I'm just gonna go right on the sponge with this. I'm gonna go straight on and go in a downwards motion. Now, if you're a dry skin girl, I probably wouldn't recommend these steps just because I think it would really look, I guess, extra dry on your skin. But if you have oily skin, I don't think I have like extremely oily skin, but I definitely have to touch it up throughout the day. So I'm just going to use my Maybelline Fit Me Concealer, and I'm just going in the areas I'd normally go to highlight and conceal. Taking the same sponge and just smoothing that out, making sure there's no harsh lines. I hate when foundation gets on my lips. Blech. So before I go on to my setting powder, I'm taking my Hoola bronzer and the little Hoola bronzing and contouring brush, and I'm just going to swirl it around in here and go in for a little bit of a contour. It doesn't matter if it's a little bit messy because we're going to kind of bake or like carve out the contour with the setting powder to make it look extra flawless, so don't worry if you go a little crazy with the blending. I'm just going to use the brush that the Hoola bronzer comes with to contour my nose. I'm just going to go a little harsher because I'm going to carve it out with setting powder, so don't worry, I won't leave it like that. Now taking my Laura Mercier translucent setting powder and the same complexion sponge, and we're going to carve out our cheekbones. So I'm going to start right at the bottom of my lower lip and kind of just bring it back to really create a nice defined contour. I'm going to go down the sides of my nose just to highlight the side so that the darkness doesn't make my nose look wider. And then I'm not going to overly bake my under eyes because I feel like if you do that, then it just looks almost dry looking. For me it does, but I'll put a little bit more powder right here because that's where any oil would kind of create. I'm just going to keep this on for a couple of minutes so it really like soaks into the skin, even though there's like no oil to soak into, but it just kind of brightens all the areas that we want to lift. This is definitely not like an everyday look. Like, it is good if you really don't want oiliness throughout the day, or you work in an area where you get to wear a lot of makeup, and it's just nice, especially for all my oily skin people out there. Like, having a day where you don't have to touch up your makeup like 10 times is amazing, and it just really ensures that your makeup stays. Like, it's not even the oiliness, it's just whenever I do touch up my makeup because of oiliness, I find that I'm wiping some of my makeup off, so this just prevents that, and it just keeps your base really flawless and just nice looking. So it's not an everyday thing, but it's just nice to have like a full face of makeup on that doesn't move. For blush, I'm taking Urban Decay's Crush, which is a perfect color for spring summer. It looks really fluorescent pink in the viewfinder, but it's a little bit more muted than that. And I'm just taking it on the Real Techniques contouring brush and really topping it off because these blushes are very pigmented. And I'm just going to lightly blend that into my contour. For highlight, I'm taking my 17 Bronze Shimmer Brick. I love this stuff. I want to go back and get that pink tone shimmer brick because this one just has blown my mind. And just pop that right at the tops of my cheekbones. It's nice to have a highlight that's a product and not my natural oils for once. Now going back to that Benefit brush, I'm going to go in with the darker bronzier shades, and I'm going to swirl that all over my cheekbones for a little bit of a bronzy glow. Taking the lightest shade, and I'm just going to use my ring finger. I'm going to pop that onto the tip of my nose and the inner corner of my eyes. Taking a clean brush, I'm just going to wipe away any excess translucent powder and really blend out my nose contour so that it doesn't look harsh. So that's it for my base. I think it's so flawless and it just looks so nice, and trust me guys, you will be touching up your makeup like almost never. Okay, now I'm gonna move on to the rest of my makeup. So I really wanted to do the foundation routine just so you guys could see what has been helping me and my oiliness, but this look is perfect for an event like Coachella because you don't really have time to even look at your makeup, so if you don't want to touch up your makeup, then this routine would be perfect for you. It's just great for any kind of outdoor event, especially if it's in the heat of the day. So we're going to go on to the rest of the face. I'm going to go back to my Perfect Brow Pencil by Anastasia Beverly Hills in Soft Brown, and I'm creating a very soft look in my brows. I want them to be a little bit thicker and straighter. I don't want them to be very defined, so that's why I like using this pencil. I'm also going to set it with the Benefit Gimme Brow in the lighter shade, and this is just going to give it a fuller look and just keep it in place all day. Moving on to my eyes, I'm going to keep it really simple just because if I was going to an all weekend, all day event in the heat, I don't think I would do too much craziness to my face because I think it would melt. So I just really want like longevity in my makeup, and then I would express my style through like a hairstyle or my outfit. That's just personal preference. Like, of course you can go crazy with like diamonds and glitter and like henna all over your face, but knowing me, it would like sink into my pores. I'd probably break out, or it would just melt off from the sun. So I just want makeup that I feel pretty in. I just really want to have that like desert bronzy earthy tone kind of going on with my makeup. So I'm going to take the Urban Decay Naked 2 palette, and the color Cover, and I'm just going to put that all over my lid and blend it into my crease. I kept the inner corner of my lid free because I want to put a lighter color there just so that my eyes look nice and open and a little bit brighter. Taking that same brush and the same color, I'm just going to bring a little bit on the lower lash line, mostly at the outer corner. Taking the lightest shade in the palette and my pinky, I'm just going to press that into the inner corner where we left it free just so that it still keeps our eyes nice and open and bright. Urban Decay's Whisky 24/7 Glide On Pencil. I'm going to put this on the upper and lower lash line, right at the lash line, and then buff it out, and just to kind of enhance that smokiness. Taking my Sigma E30 brush, I'm just going to blend that out. I'm going to put a quick coat of my Tom Ford mascara and these little lashes that I cut in half. I can't remember what they're called, but I will link them down below, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so I just popped on this little headpiece. It's from Lily and Rose, and it is honestly the most beautiful thing ever. It has like velvet straps. You can wear it as a choker, and I just think it's so beautiful and feminine and very festival appropriate. So going on to lip color, I want to keep it neutral again, but I'm going to add a little bit of a lavender pop. So I'm taking MAC Oak Liner, Colourpop Midi lipstick because it lasts a long time. And then for a pop of lavender, I'm taking this new lipstick from Pharrell, and it is in the color Euphoric, just in the center. So that's it for this tutorial. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!